feel like your words just kind of vanish into thin air? What if I told you there's a way of speaking that can shake things up, like on a fundamental level?
That's what's so cool about this text. And, it's saying praise is way more than just like saying you're thankful. It's about tapping into something much bigger, aligning with a higher power.
Okay, I'm with you so far, but that sounds kind of out there. What does that actually look like?
Well, the text makes it clear it's not about like empty flattery. It's not about trying to sweet talk a higher power into doing what you want.
Gotcha.
It's more about recognizing that power, acknowledging it's already at work in the universe.
So it's more about changing how WE see things than actually changing what's OUT there.
Exactly. It uses the example of Psalm 22.3, where it talks about dwelling in the midst of praise. It's about choosing to focus on the good stuff, the things that lift you up, even when things around you feel, well, not so good.
That reminds me of King David, the guy who wrote that psalm. He went through some seriously tough times, but he never stopped acknowledging, well, the power of praise, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if that mindset helped him through those rough patches.
Yeah, for sure. The text definitely suggests that the more we focus on praise, the more we open ourselves up to possibilities beyond what we can see right now.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how this goes way deeper than just saying nice things. It's about actively choosing to see the world through, I guess you could say, a lens of faith and gratitude. But where does that shaken foundations idea come into play?
Well, remember the story of Paul and Silas from Acts 16? They were stuck in prison, but instead of giving into despair, they sang hymns, praises.
Right.
And then, bam, an earthquake hit. The prison walls shook and they were freed.
Okay, so maybe we shouldn't expect literal earthquakes every time we offer praise.
Yeah.
But it's a powerful image, right? Even when we feel trapped, choosing to focus on praise can make things shift, create an opening for something new.
That's it. Recognizing that even when things are dark, there's a power at work that's bigger than our problems. And by aligning ourselves with that power through praise, well, who knows what can happen?
So it's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing to focus on something bigger, something that can give us strength to face challenges with maybe a different perspective.
Right on. And that's where always worthy comes in.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on, there's always something to be grateful for, always a reason to offer praise.
I'm thinking this whole idea of praise is way deeper than I first thought. It's not just some words. It's about really cultivating a mindset of gratitude, aligning ourselves with something that can help us handle the ups and downs of life, maybe with a little more grace, a little more resilience.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Correct.
And this source suggests the more we practice this, the more we'll start seeing proof of that power at work in our lives. Maybe not earthquakes, but little shifts and I guess you could call them synchronicities, things that guide us towards a more fulfilling path.
This has definitely given me something to chew on. So we've talked about praise as acknowledging a higher power, as an action, not just a feeling, and as a way to maybe even shift our reality. But there's one more thing from the text that I'm curious about. It mentions that praise isn't just directed outward, but also inward. What's that all about?
Now, that's a great question, and one that really gets to the heart of how praise can change us from the inside out. Something we can dig into more in the next part of our deep dive. So welcome back. It's wild how this source connects outward praise with inner change. It's saying when we praise, we're not just acknowledging something outside of us, but also growing something within.
So we're tapping into a power both bigger than ourselves, A and D inside us. Whoa. But how's that actually work? What are we cultivating here?
The text suggests that just by focusing on praise, we can actually change our inner state no matter what's going on around us. It's about deliberately choosing to see the good, the gratitude, even when things are tough.
Okay, so instead of getting stuck in the negativity, we're picking a different focus. On purpose. But does that really change anything inside us?
Ever notice how when you dwell on the negative stuff, it just seems to get worse, you attract more of it? The text says praise is kind of similar, but in the opposite direction.
Oh, I get it. So by choosing praise, we're kind of pulling in more of the positive, setting up a good vibe cycle.
Bingo. And remember how the source was all about action? Praising ain't just thinking happy thoughts. It's about living them through our words and what we do.
So not ignoring the bad, but actively choosing a more positive, faith-filled view.
Yeah, exactly. And as we do that, it changes our inner world. We build up resilience, hope, that deeper connection with, the higher power.
This is more than just feeling good, isn't it? It's like a total shift in how we see things, how we deal with the world.
Absolutely. It's realizing that even when we can't control what happens to us, We can control what happens in us. And by choosing praise, we're choosing to respond with, I don't know, more grace, strength,
Hmm.
more faith.
I'm loving how this deep dive is making us rethink praise. So we've covered praise in a higher power and how that affects us inside. But I got to ask, does this idea of praise extend to how we treat other people? Can we use praise to, create positive change in our relationships?
That's a great question. It gets to the core of how praise can have a ripple effect, not just on us, but on everyone around us. Definitely something we can explore more in the final part of our deep dive.
So we've covered praising a higher power and all the awesome stuff that it can do inside us. But now I'm really curious about how praise works with, other people. Can we use it to make a positive difference in our relationships?
That's where things get super interesting. Remember how the text was all about praise being an action, not just a feeling? And how aligning ourselves with bigger purpose can lead to real, tangible results.
Yeah, like Paul and Silas singing praises in prison and then boom, earthquake. But how does that work with praising other people?
Well, imagine if part of that bigger purpose is about seeing the good in each other and lifting each other up. Like, what if our words of praise could actually help someone become more of who they're meant to be?
Wow, I never thought of it like that. It makes sense, though. Everyone wants to feel appreciated and encouraged. So how do we make sure our praise is, genuine, that it really hits home?
It goes back to that idea of truly seeing someone. It's not about just throwing out compliments or trying to flatter them. It's about recognizing their best qualities and reflecting that back to them from the heart.
So instead of just saying, you're great, we might say something like, I really admire how you never give up, even when things get tough. Something specific that shows we're really paying attention.
Exactly. It's about pointing out their unique strengths, their effort, the things that make them shine. And when we do that, when it's real, it can really plant a seed of belief in them.
So it's not just about making them feel good for a minute. It's like we're actually helping them grow, become better versions of themselves.
You got it. Think about a time when someone gave you a genuine compliment. Didn't it make you feel seen, appreciated? Maybe even like you could do anything.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's crazy how powerful a few words can be.
And remember, just like with praise and a higher power, praising others isn't about ignoring their struggles or pretending they're perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things are messy.
So even if someone's going through a tough time, we can still find something real to praise about them, something to help them keep going.
Right. And by doing that, we're aligning ourselves with that bigger energy of kindness and compassion. We're making the world a little bit better, a little more supportive.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. I'm seriously rethinking how I use my words, not just when I'm talking to a higher power, but with everyone. If our words can really shake things up, imagine all the good we can do just by choosing to speak words of praise and encouragement.
That's the power of praise right there. It's a force for good that spreads outward, touches everyone we meet. So go out there, be generous with your praise, and see what happens. You might be surprised.
This has been an amazing journey. I'm walking away with a whole new understanding of what praise really is and how powerful it can be for ourselves, A&D, for everyone around us. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.